Hey, Mark and Michelle, it's Angela Heights. I just want to thank you for the way you have changed my life. Your banter and the updates are one of the best things about your podcast. Your willingness to pour out your lives, the heartbreak, the heartaches, the agony, in juxtaposition to the triumphs, the blessings, the redemption, is a healing balm and an encouragement to your audience. Rare are those who are willing to revisit the horror and the pain of that which was one of their most excruciating seasons. In doing so, you become a lifeline and a connection to God during the darkest time of your listeners' lives. Even the chatter about routine occurrences provide hope and provide community to those who may feel alone and misunderstood and even abandoned. Don't stop the prologue. It also permits us the opportunity to pray with specificity for you as a return for the blessings you continuously and sacrificially pour out. I couldn't express this any better than the Apostle Paul in Philippians 1, where he said, I thank my God for you every time I think of you and every time I pray for you all. I pray with joy because of the way in which you have helped me from the very first day until now. So I am sure that God, who began this good work in you, will carry it on until it is finished on the day of Christ Jesus. You are always in my heart, and so it is only right for me to feel about you as I do. Thanks, Mark and Michelle, for the blessings that you have poured out on me and to all of your other listeners. You are cherished.
Hey, welcome to Widowed Too Soon. This is Mark Massaro. I am back, and I'm here with my friend and co-host, Michelle Bader-Ebersole, freshly in from Puerto Rico. What's up, Michelle? I know, I almost said back, Puerto Rico.
I wanted to sing Back Streets Back, all right. That's what came to my head.
Don't.
Did you ever like the Backstreet Boys?
No, I didn't. I was not a fan.
Tearing up my heart, all that.
I know some of it, but no, I was never a fan.
Stuff.
No, anyways. That was like, you couldn't like stuff like that as a skater kid, I had to be into like hardcore, like Iron Maiden and Metallica and,
Oh, yeah. Guns N' Roses.
Stuff. And then I switched over to like, I've always kind of liked a little bit of everything, but it's funny because even when I liked all that like, metal music, would get all pumped up to go snowboarding or skateboarding or whatever. I still liked hip hop music. I liked the Beatles and oldies, all kinds of classic rock. So my one thing that I've had a really hard time liking is country music.
Oh, I was going to say, that was my guess.
I have tried and tried and tried. So, Tina's finally gotten me around. There's a few songs.
There's some good country songs.
Yeah, we have a song that's, it's our song. It's called Thank God.
I don't know if I know that. Who sings that?
Thank God I get to wake up by your side. I can't even. I need the words. I'm going to have to look that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Sounds like a cute song.
But it's, yeah, it's she told me the story that it's like the couple that sings the song, they're actually a couple.
So it's probably,
Kay Brown? No, Kay Brown or something. Hold on. Kane Brown?
Okay. Kane Brown. Okay, yeah, I'm not up as much on like current country. Like I knew 90s country, but I listen here and there. But Kane Brown, yeah, I like Kane Brown.
Kane Brown and something I can't see it right now because I'd have to actually open
look that up. Sounds like a good song.
It's a good song, yeah. Well, it started with Tina saying she wanted me. She's like, I'd love for you to learn this song so we could like sing it together. Because oh my gosh, I'm like tattling on myself for like all the things that I don't like to. There's certain things that like I only do around her, and singing is one of them, and that took me a lot.
And the podcast.
I do. What?
You sing on the podcast.
No. Like trying to sing, not trying to be like silly. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I don't
okay.
sing
Like
on
that's
here,
true.
like,
You have it like
sing.
for real. Like here you go.
Like,
okay.
Hold on, let me hit my nose here. No, yeah. But yeah. So, anyways,
you guys sing together. That's
we sing
so
together.
Cute.
Yeah, we do.
I did not know that. Oh.
And then we'll switch it up, and she has a really beautiful voice. She can.
Oh, I could imagine.
Like when she sings, it's just angelic to me. It's just so beautiful.
Wow.
And she didn't sing for me for a long time, but she told me she could sing, but she was like too shy. And one night I just like asked her, like, I can't remember how it was. Okay, this is kind of foul, but I'm just gonna confess.
Go ahead.
So like I
Go.
can totally rap like a bunch of Eminem
Yes.
songs.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if I don't think I've done that on here. Probably not.
Yeah.
I would imagine not.
Maybe
But
parts
anyways,
of it.
so I can. And she likes it. She thinks it's cool. But even though it's kind of like a it's like we know we shouldn't be singing songs like that, but we do. You know what I mean? Kind of one of those things. So I said, I'll rap for you, but you got to sing for me. And she was like, all right. And so I think the first song she sang for me was Killing Me Softly.
That's a good song.
Yeah, and she said that it like reminds her of me, or reminded her of me. I can't talk. Anyways, so she's like, all right, I'll sing it. When she started singing, I was so mesmerized. I was like, oh my gosh, she's like, you have the most beautiful voice. Like, what have you been shy about, you know? And so anyways, I think through, her probably not feeling rejected about her singing, she feels more comfortable singing around me. Therefore, I started singing around her. So that's how it all got started. I'm sure everybody needs to know that.
They do. But here, random. Eminem
Random.
and Rihanna sing the song called Love the Way You Lie, right? So
Yeah.
we're in Puerto Rico, which I'll get to that in a minute, and we got the music blasting. Joel, he grew up in Brazil. He doesn't know a lot of songs. Or he just doesn't know. I'm singing. He's like, this is a horrible song. Why are you singing this? Because it's like, I love the way you lie. And then the part Eminem's rapping about blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And Joel is just so innocently, this is awful. Why do you sing this?
I like Joel.
It.
That's
I
cool.
know.
For me, it's one of those things. I know. I'm like, but it's for me, it's like stuff I grew up on when I didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like it kind of gives you that, like, it gets you like pumped up. Like, so Lacey used to listen to like 50 Cent and stuff when she was like working out, because she's like, it just gets me like going.
True.
Like I just am like working out harder and stuff. So anyways, I'm sure there's a lot of people that can relate. I'm sure there's a lot of people who think I'm terrible. So
Whatever.
it's okay. Let the chips fall where they may. But yeah. Anyways, I do have a funny story that made me think of this podcast.
Okay,
So
let's go.
I was at work,
Mhm.
and a lot of guys at my work smoke cigarettes.
Mhm.
And so I just caught a whiff of somebody smoking a cigarette, and just for some reason I just decided to say, I was like, sorry, Lieutenant Dan, she tastes like cigarettes. This dude started laughing, and for the next several days, like, everybody has been walking around quoting Forrest Gump.
That's
It's
so
like,
funny.
It's like I started this little thing, and it's funny because I don't know, I just thought about how much I do Forrest Gump on here.
Yes, you do.
But yeah,
Now you're introducing
anyways,
them to it.
so
That's
now
funny.
I'm showing off my skills at work too. I'm like, we had 12 Gen A's. So I do. Okay, I've been waiting to share this joke on
Okay,
here.
I'm excited. Okay.
So-
okay.
And then I'm gonna see what's been up with you, and then you can see what's been up with me. Sorry, I'm just like, I'm all excited to be recording again.
I know, it's been so
you know
long.
how there's like Gen X and millennials, right?
Yes.
The different generations, Gen
Yes.
Z. Do you know what generation Forrest Gump was?
No.
Gen
Is it-
A.
Oh my gosh. I should have thought about that.
Tina guessed it. I couldn't believe
Yeah,
it. I
that
was
was a good
like,
guess.
oh, how'd you get it?
That's
She's like, I
so
don't know. I just guess
funny.
it. Yeah, good stuff. So anyways, what's been up with you?
Oh my goodness. So 7 minutes and we haven't even got into
Yeah,
what's-
I know. I know.
Oh, okay, so much. So like I have a whole list.
A smorgasbord,
So,
a plethora.
Yeah, so like all kinds of things. So I don't even know where to start. I'll go with, I think, like the order. So I don't think I shared this on the podcast. I went back and I was like, I don't think I did. So Peyton got baptized, which was
That's awesome.
really cool. Yeah, so he's 16 now, and Luke and I had always just decided like we're never gonna like push baptism on our kids. We're gonna wait till they come to us. And Haley got baptized after a camp. And then Peyton just recently was like, I really want to get baptized. And so he did. And it was like the coolest experience because at our new church, it's like they have everybody come down to the, it's actually, Joel said, that's a birthing tank because he had his kids in water, like when he had kids. So he knew what it was. And I was like, oh, okay. Anyways, they had him come like
Sweet.
around the baptismal birthing cake.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
it was like all the kids, like everybody, like celebration, hundreds of people celebrating everybody. And there were like 14 or 15 that got baptized. So it was a really cool moment. And it didn't, I of course wish Luke was there, but it didn't really bring a lot of grief. It was just like joyful. I mean, I was like crying a little bit, like happy, but a little sad wishing that Luke was there, but also like Joel was there too, and my parents, and it was just kind of like a bonding thing of my new family, with Joel, that he could be participating, he could be there praying over Peyton, all of that. So that was a really cool experience.
That's
so that was
awesome.
Yeah, I
And that's
absolutely.
super cool. I
Yeah,
totally agree too. It should be their choice.
Yes.
When
Yes.
they're ready to do it. That's my opinion too.
Yeah, and here's another thing that I always regretted that, in church, usually you have your kids dedicated, right? Which is different. It's like you're just dedicating, you're asking them to pray. Well, Peyton never got dedicated. So my other two did. Peyton
My
didn't.
kids haven't either.
Okay, so it's not a big deal, but I always regretted it because we just moved churches. Luke was sick, he couldn't make it to church, so we just never got dedicated. So I was like, this is his dedication and his baptism, and all at once. But anyways, it was a really, really cool experience.
That's
okay.
awesome.
So it's gonna sound like I have a list because I do.
Because
But it can be
because
an-
you're literally reading off of a list.
Well, I have bullet points to help me remember because it's been like a month since we've talked
I
about
know.
what's going on. It's better than like, oh, I have nothing going on. Okay.
Well, that's gonna be my answer.
So-
No, just kidding.
So I had a birthday and
Happy
I turned
birthday!
29. I
29,
know, right?
yep.
29 again.
4 years in a row. Good job.
I know. Thank you. Yes, I turned 29. And my birthday was really special. My mom and I always get like pedicures and go shopping. I just had the best day. It was so fun. And then Joel threw me a birthday party, which was awesome. There's this place in Portland that has like a huge arcade. Plus, it has a room where you can do karaoke just with your group. We had like 16 people come, and it was actually my first like couple's birthday. I just never did that with Luke. Usually I do throw myself a birthday party every year. I'm going to admit that. But this year, Joel did it for me. I do. I'm never too old to have a party. Last year, it was
That's
a
awesome.
bachelorette / birthday party. But this year, Joel did it for me. He planned it all, and he got like everybody arcade cards. So we were playing all the fun arcade games, and it was so awesome. Like everybody gathered around. Like I ended up like in the swivel chair in the middle of all these people, and they went around and said how they know me and what they love about me, and it was just super special and fun. And then the karaoke, I busted out the Gangster's Paradise and all the 90s songs.
Wow.
Yeah, we were all, I should share a video. It was good. Like we were just rapping it, all 90s songs pretty much. It was
Nice.
so fun. Oh, Joel and I did Summer Lovin' from Greece. I think I talked
nice.
about this before, like how I had him do that and he didn't know what the words were. He'd never done it, but this time he did. It was super fun.
Nice.
So that night I really felt loved by not only by Joel, but by my friends, and just celebrated and fun. And I think we should all throw ourselves birthday parties. So I
Yeah,
would
I'm gonna do
encourage all
that.
of you. It's fun. I love it.
I don't have
think
anyone to
it's-
invite except Dina, but that's cool.
Maybe all our listeners. Okay, we
Maybe
can all
if I go
fly
to
out there.
California and throw myself a party, I'll have a lot of people to invite.
Right. So it was fun. I really enjoyed that. I didn't, like turning 29 again, but
I know, gosh.
it's just part of it. So
Did you go to the
Um,
White House again? Did you meet
is-
the
is-
President of the United States
okay,
again?
Forrest, that's enough. Enough Forrest. Okay.
It's
So
never
there's
enough.
my birthday. I'm just
Birthday
crossing
check.
things.
Cross it off, yep.
I did write Gangster's Paradise next to birthday.
Nice. That was
Yep.
your bullet point?
That was one of my bullet points. Okay, lots of other things. This is very exciting about my book. So you guys know I wrote a book, or I'm in the process, Widow Goals, Steps to Finding Peace When You Lose Your Spouse. And I had contacted someone at Harvest House, which is my dream publisher, and she had already said, no, we already have a grief book. And I'm like, you probably don't have this book. Would you mind looking at it? Just to be nice, I think she said yes. And then she got back to me like later and said, I just finished the proposal through tears. I'm going to take this to the board, like to a meeting, which I have a friend who is an author for Bethany House. And she told me that's a huge deal. It's called the pub board, where they vote on the books. Like, could this make money? Blah, 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 blah. So I have not heard yet. That was Monday. And then I emailed her
That's
on Friday.
awesome.
just to ask for an update. So it could be a good sign because it means they could be putting a contract together or figuring out marketing, figuring out if it's going to work. So I'm super excited, but that was a huge deal. She was like, my friend who's an author, like usually you have to have an agent to get to that point. She's like, this is a big deal that you got to the pub board. I'm like,
That's
so
so
awesome.
awesome. That's
I know,
cool.
super excited.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So
that's
that was
rad.
something. Oh, and Joel got me a pink MacBook that I can use for doing my
What?
writing. Yeah,
Nice.
it was
I'm
very
about
cool.
to buy a MacBook too. Wait, no.
Yes.
Wait, is
The
MacBook?
Air
That's the
Mac
laptop, right?
MacBook. It's the laptop. I
Do
don't
you
know what
say
it's called,
backpack
actually.
book?
Yes, my backpack book.
I swear, I
MacBook.
thought that was what.
But there's something called Air Mac, and there's something called iMac. No, iMac was old. A long
I'm.
time ago.
Oh, you know what? I have it in my
Let's
Amazon
look it up. I
cart.
have it sitting over there, but I don't know what it's
Well, I
called.
have
But
it in
here's
my
what I
cart
like.
ready to buy when I'm ready to do it.
Right.
MacBook
So
Pro.
yes,
That's what
but I
I'm gonna
got
buy.
just the MacBook. I got the cheap
Oh,
one.
okay.
So, and it's rose gold, it's pink, it's so cute. But what I like is everything matches. Okay, here, I didn't know this. So you've got the iPhone, got an iPad, I've got this one's a Mac something, and then I've got the MacBook, and everything like syncs and like
I
you
know.
can copy from one. Do you know this?
Well, I
Copy
don't know
from
yet.
one, paste on the other. It's the best thing ever.
Oh, wow.
Copy? Yeah, Joel taught me that. I was like, what? So like I had
That's
some things
amazing.
like a link on the computer. I copied it and then pasted it to somebody on my phone. Amazing. So
Wow, that's super cool.
right, yeah.
Rob's gonna just hate hearing about how awesome
I know how
apples
you're
are.
totally Apple now.
Rob, like I
Rob.
was a super Samsung guy, or Android, until I
Then
went to the dark
you-
side, and
you
it's
met
just
this
so much
girl and
better.
she
It's
convinced
so
you.
much better.
Yeah.
It just is.
It is. It's so
I had
good.
Android forever, and
Mhm.
Apple is now. The one thing I will say is my Samsung camera was way better
Really?
than the iPhone camera. Yeah, for
Oh.
sure. On my Galaxy phone, yeah, the camera was way better. All that being said, well, and my camera is broken now, but even before that.
Mhm.
So anyways, but that's the only thing everything else I just love about the iPhone. It's like so much more
amazing.
intuitive, it seems like.
That's right.
I know the processing power on the Androids, I believe, are stronger and faster, but I don't use it for any super techie stuff.
Yeah.
So just the stuff I use it for, like it just seems way more like responsive, and I think a lot of it has to do with that the iPhone doesn't have any like third-party apps in the same way that Android does. Like anybody can create an app for Android. And so
Oh.
I feel like while that's cool, there's a lot of things you can do on Androids that you can't do on iPhones. For instance, I used to have this app where I could just download movies, TV shows, songs, like as much as I wanted or whatever. And so that was cool. And you couldn't do anything like that on Apple because of like copyright stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, getting way off topic. iPhones are awesome. Go
They
on
are.
with your experiences.
all this random stuff. Okay, so then just a couple random things. So if you listen to some of the past episodes, we have Ann Garcia. She talked about finances, and one of the coolest things I learned is that you can go to unclaimed property in your state. So of course I did, looked up Luke's name, and then I found my name, and it was about $150 of unclaimed property from Google to me, and I figured out it's because I used to have like on a website like Google Ads or something. So I filled out the information and it should be on its way. So it actually
That's awesome.
worked. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked up California because of Michelle's advice, and Kaiser owes me less than $25, but I can't
You
claim
get your
it.
money from Kaiser. Get
I
your
would.
money.
I would take every dollar I could.
Mm-hmm. Wait, why
But
can't
yeah,
you
anyway.
claim it?
I don't know. There was nothing. It said under 25, and there was nowhere to hit claim.
Oh, well.
So I don't know if that means you just can't claim it because it's
Yeah,
not enough
maybe look
for them
into
to write
that.
you a check. Maybe they're like,
a
come pick
little
it up.
more. Yeah. Anyways, that's what I have to say about that. Okay,
Really?
here's another.
And I'm just supposed to leave that alone.
What?
That's all I have to
Forrest
say about
Gump.
that.
Okay, yeah.
You said it.
Okay, but I wasn't referring to Forrest Gump. I was literally like, that's all I have to say about
Okay.
that. Okay, so this is really cool. So Haley was given the opportunity to speak in chapel. So she always sings in chapel, but she's never spoke. So how this happened is her Bible teacher used to be our pastor. Like he was there when Luke had his leg amputated, like knows our whole story. And I guess he was watching her in chapel worship, and she was singing the song, and the words were, "All my life you have been faithful." and how she was just belting it out, knowing her story, how much that meant. And then he was like, do you think people at the school know your story? And she's like, not really anymore. Like when she was younger and there was the older grades, but now she doesn't. She's like, no, really not that many. He's like, I would like you to share your story. And so he did most of the chapel. It was about why does God allow suffering? And then he ended up putting up a picture of our family and then talking about what we'd been through and then asking her questions. And the first one was like, what qualities did you love about your dad? So that was really special to hear her say that in front of everybody. And then like, how have you seen good come from this? And she talked about the night when we did a widows event, and she was with the kids, the widows' kids, and she did this little activity with them where they wrote a letter to their dad, and just how she wasn't sure they had a great time, but they went home later and told their mom how much they loved it, and she just really was a positive influence. So she's talking about how she's giving back to widows' kids because her mom's giving back to widows and she has the opportunity to give back to widows' kids and how she can see beauty from that. And that was just so beautiful and
That's
touching.
awesome.
And yeah. And then I can't remember the other question, but it was beautiful. But she was like, she didn't have much time. She's like, I didn't get to say everything. I'm like, you're going to have many opportunities, including, well, we haven't even talked about this, but I wanted to talk to you about having her on here pretty soon. To talk
that'd
about
be
her
cool.
experience. You know, she's almost 18 now, so she's like an adult pretty much. Maybe start having some kids on to talk about, like teenagers, to talk about their
Yeah.
experiences. So anyways, I want to do that with her.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, so listeners, you can look forward to that in the future, of just, you know, hearing more of her experience. Like I wanted to hear more. Like she shared things that I hadn't really heard before. And my mom's like, I want, you know, my mom, her grandparents were there, like, I want to hear more like about this. And
It's a unique
just-
perspective.
yeah, and she did talk about, which I didn't know. She said, I was angry at God for a little while, you know, but I got past that. And so I had never heard her admit that before, but I think that's a common response. I mean, I know it is. So
Yeah.
anyways, that was really, really special and, you know, a big deal. And of course, Joel was there too to support her. And it was, I just think, really cool for her peers to hear from her. Like they see her leading worship every week, but they don't know her story, and now they do. So I think it was powerful. And, you know, she was like, hopefully it helps one person with their belief. So
Yeah.
really cool. So anyways, check.
That's
Let's keep
awesome.
going down the list. There's so many things. We're 20 minutes in. We haven't even gotten to yours. Rob, are you loving this?
Rob's loving
Actually,
it. Da-da-da-da-da. He's loving it.
Isn't that McDonald's?
It
Burger
is.
King. You're loving it. Okay. Anyways. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next thing.
Everything reminds me of something else.
I know. This is a big one. So Joel and I went to Puerto Rico to celebrate our
Sweet.
1-year anniversary. So we've officially been married over a year now.
That's awesome.
I know, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. It went so
Congratulations,
fast.
Joel. I don't know why I yelled it like he's in the
Yeah.
background.
He's not
Sorry
flying
for
today.
yelling, Joel.
So it
And
was
everyone.
amazing. So we have friends that live in Puerto Rico. And they said that if we came, they would find a place for us to stay. So we were in the same condo, but like 2 doors down. So
Wow,
I,
that's
you
super
know,
cool.
with Luke, we never did any couples trips. So this is the first time I've ever experienced anything like it. It was fun because we did stuff on our own, but then we also did stuff with them. It was probably the most beautiful place I've ever been to, even better than Hawaii, in my opinion, or at least better than Kauai. And like, I liked it so much more. The snorkeling was better. The water was more beautiful. The weather was better. But what surprised me is that everything was in Spanish. Like I had no idea it was going to be like that. Like the menus, the signs, it felt like you were in Mexico or something.
Yeah.
And in fact, it was so different. Like it's actually relatively close to Brazil. Like if you look on a map, I didn't know until we were there. I'm like, oh, here we are. Joel kept saying it reminded him of Brazil, like a lot.
Oh, wow.
about
That's
it.
cool.
But it was very cool. We did salsa dancing. The first night we got there, my friend was like, hey, there's salsa lessons tonight. And Joel, of course, being a good sport, came and did salsa with me.
That's awesome.
And,
I would eat salsa.
Yeah, I don't eat salsa, but I like to salsa dance. And it was just so beautiful. And then the day of our anniversary, we got up early and we took a ferry over to another island. And this island was so weird. There were horses, wild horses everywhere, literally everywhere.
Whoa.
Not exactly sure the story on that, but they're just everywhere. So that was really cool. I mean, like literally you have to stop the car. They're in front of the car. And then we went snorkeling and it was so beautiful. And that day was just amazing. And then, you know, it was just like, this is our anniversary. Like, whoa, you know, just like what's, you know, just really talking about the year and like, And he's this is how amazing of a man he is. He's the one who said, he goes, "How can I be a better husband in this next year?" And I was
Mm,
like, "I don't think you can."
dude,
Like,
that's awesome.
right? I'm like, I am
Yes,
so blessed with this guy. Like,
I love that.
always thinking about how he can improve and how he can be better. And I was like, I don't think you can. Like, you're pretty amazing. So,
That's so
um,
cool, though.
yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
just talked
awesome.
about like plans for the future, and it was just a beautiful time. Like, I can't really put it accurately into words. Like, it was
I'm not gonna
even,
lie, I'm a little jealous. I have been like yearning to like go on vacation. So that's
it
super, I'm joking,
was,
I'm not jealous, but you know what I mean? That's
yeah,
super,
yeah.
super cool. That's
It
awesome.
was really, really beautiful.
Did you guys ever like take any walks on the beach at night?
Not
That
at
was one
night.
of
We
my
went
favorite
running.
things to do.
Yes. We didn't walk on the beach at night, but we got up and went running. That was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then we did like bodyboarding. That was super
Like,
fun.
oh, okay, like with a
Well,
boogie board, right?
boogie board. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah,
you call it boogie
like,
boarding or
well, wait,
bodyboarding.
I call it boogie boarding, and then it's body
Okay.
surfing, which is where
Okay.
you don't have a board.
Okay, so
But
it was
I was just
bodyboarding.
no, I think you can call it bodyboarding too.
Okay. Well, they had some of those in the room. It came with the room we were in, so we went down and did that. Um, and just yeah, it was just a great time to be away.
That's awesome. How was the food?
Oh, I tried octopus. Yes. That's right.
Wow.
I
Like,
posted a video about
oh
that.
no, calamari is squid. So
Right.
octopus.
Oh, yeah. So there's a video on my
Was it
Facebook
like
if
really
anyone wants to see
chewy?
it. Yes, and I was just like, whatever. Like they ordered it, and I'm like, I'm gonna try it. Why not? And it didn't taste that bad, but it's the texture and the tentacles, and I was like, like that was
Mm,
good. That was
yeah.
enough.
Yeah, I've had a few things like that. I tried escargot one time on a
Oh,
cruise. And
yeah,
I was like, but everyone told me they're like, this is a cruise because it's all inclusive, right? They're like,
yeah,
just try it. If you don't like it, you don't have, but when else are you going to get to try escargot?
true.
And I'm
Hmm.
like, all right. So I ordered it.
It's snail,
Um,
right?
it's
Snail.
snail.
Mm.
And it came in this dish and like everything was all buttered up and everything. And I'm like, so you like take your spoon and you
Mm.
pull it out. It comes in a special like dish for escargot. And so I scoop it out and I'm like, oh, here we go. It was one of the best tasting things
Wow.
I have ever put in my mouth,
Wow.
and I loved it, right? The first one, I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. And I went to scoop another one, and it started catching up with me mentally.
Yeah.
I was like,
Never mind.
no, I can't. I just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And Lacey's like, I'll eat them. And so Lacey ate
Oh
all of
wow.
mine too. Oh yeah, she was like, she would eat. She was adventurous.
Oh
Do you remember me like posting a picture of her cooking the pig head on
no.
my Traeger smoker? She bought a whole pig head, a
Oh
head
my
of a
gosh.
pig, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" She was telling me this story over the phone, and she's like, "I got a pig head." I'm all,
Like
what? And
what?
she's like, yeah, she went to this market, and she's like,
Oh
can you
my
believe it was
gosh.
only $5? I'm all, I wouldn't have
Yes.
paid 5 cents. Like,
Yeah.
really? And what are you gonna do with it? She's like, I'm gonna cook it and eat it. And I was like, you gotta be kidding, right? And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
no, seriously. So I'm picturing this like little pig. It was huge.
Mm.
It was huge, right? And so I get home from work because I was on the phone that conversation, and I'm like, hey, sweetheart, so what's for dinner? And she's like, the pig. I'm all, no. And she's like, go look on the Traeger. We have a
Oh
Traeger
my
smoker.
gosh.
And I lift up the hood, and
That's
I'm like,
hilarious.
oh my gosh, like the teeth are still there,
Ew.
like the whiskers and the ears
Ew.
and the eyes and all this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I went in the house and I'm like, I don't want to hear any arguing about this. I'm going to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
So I went and got Taco Bell, and I'm sitting, and so we're eating at the same time. And she just grabbed the
She's
whole,
eating
she
it?
put the whole head of the pig on her tray
Mm-mm.
and was like eating it. And so we were both watching TV, and I was sitting on what would be the left side, let's
Uh-huh.
call it. Let's call it the driver's side. She would
Okay.
be on the passenger
Uh-huh.
side. So her pig was facing me.
Oh my gosh.
And so I'm sitting there eating my food, and I just like looked over, and I look back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And she's like, what's the matter? and I get up and I grab a towel, like a dish towel, and I just laid it because she was eating it from the backside.
Ew.
And so I just like laid it over the pig face. I'm all, your dinner is watching me eat my dinner.
Ew. So
And so
gross.
yeah, it was like, yeah, it was pretty gross. But
Did
I
she
did
like
try one
it?
piece of it. She
Did she like
no, I mean, she thought it was okay. There were certain parts that were good.
it? Mm-hmm.
And there was a part she's like, "Hey, I think this is the pork rind, basically what they make pork rinds out
Oh.
of." And so I tried a little piece. I'm like, "Oh, you're right. I think it is." And but anyways, yeah, it was just not my jam. But
Mm-mm.
that was Lacey in a nutshell. I will save it for
Wow.
another time. But there's also a story about a road cheesecake.
Okay.
You know, I'll just say it real
Just
quick 'cause
say
it's
it
not a long
now.
story. It's not a long story. So we were driving down to Thanksgiving dinner at a friend's house, and as I'm turning the corner, we look down and there's this really nice springform pan. I guess that's like, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people know what that is. It's like a pan for making like cakes or pies or
Oh,
whatever. I
okay.
don't know. But you can like close it like a spring. Anyways, so Lacey's like, I kind of want that pan. It was in the street. It was in the middle of the street. And I'm like, all right, I'll go back and get it. So I go back, I pick it up, and there's cheesecake in there. So this
Oh.
totally like fell off the roof of somebody's car and was just like laying in the
Mhm.
street. So Lacey's like, I want to eat the cheesecake.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, you don't even know how long that's been out there or where that's been. But
Right.
she was the type, she would like see berries
Wow.
on trees and just pick them and just start eating them. I'm like, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
berries
what
out
Joel
there that are
does.
poisonous, you know?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, if you don't know what it is, you shouldn't just eat it, you know? But anyways,
Uh-huh.
so sorry, go back
Wow.
to your list.
Did she eat it though? Like, did she
She
eat the
ate, no,
cheesecake?
no, I think we banned her from eating the cheesecake.
Okay, good, because who knows? Yeah, that can make her sick.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but she was,
Hmm.
she always, I loved this about her, but it also kind of bothered me because of my personality. She always
Mhm.
thought everything was going to be okay.
Hmm.
So because of my fearful personality, I
Yeah.
didn't like it, but I
Yeah.
also like admired it that she like just didn't have fear of like anything.
Mm-hmm.
She was like,
That's
it'll be
awesome.
fine. Skydiving, it'll be awesome.
That's fine.
I'm like, you're jumping out of a perfectly good airplane. Anyway, so sorry. Excuse me,
No,
go on
it's
with your
good.
list.
30 minutes. It's just me. So this is a new
That's
record.
it's
That's
all
what
right.
happens when we don't talk like a month. You know, we gotta catch
This
up.
is an episode for Rob.
That is an episode for Rob.
Yes.
Okay, so
We're just chatting the whole time.
yes, I have a couple more things, and then we'll ask, what you're doing.
Mine's gonna be so
So
boring. I really
yeah,
should
I'm
have
sure
gone
it's
first.
not. I'm sure it's not boring. So, okay, now I'm kind of switching to like a sad thing, but it's part of life. I had an uncle who passed away a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago now. And he was 88. It was to be expected. But it was I actually so there was a graveside service, which I haven't been to a graveside service since Luke's. And I actually said to my sister-in-law, like, I started crying. I was like, this is really triggering. And then I said something to Haley, does this remind you of Daddy's service? She goes, yeah, Peyton just said that to me. And my kids
Oh,
have not been
wow.
to a service since Luke's. I don't think they went to the other ones I went to. So it was a little bit emotional. And then it's really sad because my aunt doesn't know what's going on. And even at the funeral, she said to my mom, whose funeral are we at? Like, where are we at? Like, she
Mm.
doesn't really. And so what's hard is every day she'll start crying again. Wait, did Jerry die? And they have to tell her again. And
Oh,
it's
that's
so
rough.
sad. I'm like, that's horrible to relive it every day. Like, it's hard enough the
Yeah.
first time. So it was difficult. Like, it was super triggering there. I mean, it wasn't like a deep grief. It was just like, whoa, it's weird being in a gravesite again. And then it was also just really hard with my aunt. I spent a lot of time, and also knowing it may be the last time I see her. And I like sat with her and I read her the sympathy cards, and then she goes, "Is this because Jerry died?" I'm like, "Yeah, but he's in heaven." And then she remembers long term. Like, I could ask her things about when I was a kid. She remembers that I was married before. Then she said it to Joel. This is so cute. Every time she met Joel, because she'd forget him and then she'd meet him again. I'm like, this is Joel. This is my husband. Well, he's good looking. He just smiles. And she goes, "Wait, that's your husband? He's cute." And every time she met him again, "Wait, you're married to him?" Joel just
That's
got all like
awesome.
blushes, and I was like,
Joel's
I know
like,
he's
let's go see her. Let's go
So it
visit. We
was
gotta
so
visit,
cute.
you know?
Like
That's
how she
great.
thought he was so cute. And but then she did remember, like, she did say another name. She's like, "What's the name of your husband who died?" And I was like, "Luke." She's like, "Oh, okay." Like, she knew, she didn't remember his name, but she knew I had a husband who
Right.
died.
Yeah.
And then I talked about, yeah, Luke's with Uncle Jerry and they're in heaven. And, so it was good. I'm glad that my kids wanted to go. I wasn't sure because they haven't been to a funeral or anything, but they really, because they were kind of like great grandparents to them in a way, because they were kind of like grandparents to me. And so they wanted to go. They had a lot of memories with him. So it was hard and definitely triggering, but I think it's important to not shy away from situations for ourselves and our kids. If they're ready for it, like, let them experience it.
Absolutely.
So I have a couple more things that are boring. I'm going to skip that. And I'm just going to go to one last thing because it's been 33 minutes. Okay, so this one, I haven't even told you this one at all because it's brand new. So my friend that I visited in Puerto Rico, we knew each other from a network marketing company that I did like 15 years ago, Arbonne, botanically based skincare, cosmetics,
Are you trying to
energy
sell
drinks.
it still?
Well, let me tell my story.
Okay.
So I left that company. So I did really good. I got the white Mercedes. I earned all the trips. I was in leadership, did really well. For a bunch of circumstances, I ended up leaving and resigning because I went to another company, and you can't do two, like, when you're in leadership. So I resigned and did other companies. And then when Luke died, I was like, I'm done. We've talked about network marketing before.
Yeah.
Like, I am totally done with this. But I never stopped using Arbonne products. I've always used something from them. From my friend Vita, I just started buying, like, we were like sidelines, like totally different teams. I started buying from her, and she never pushes it ever. Like, but every time I see her over the years, she's like, "Oh, you should really do this." And I'm like, I don't do network marketing anymore. Like, I'm done. But over this past week, she never pushed it, but I asked her so many questions. And when I did it before, I did 8 to 12 parties a month. Like, it was crazy. I was crazy. And that's not how it's built anymore. So long story short, it's more like social media, just word of mouth. So Joel and I and he didn't really know a lot about network marketing. So I had to kind of explain all of this stuff to him, and then about this company. And he's like, let's go through the pros and cons. He's like, it sounds like there's a lot more pros for you. Cause I'm like, if I rocked selling anti-aging when I was in my 20s, which on the podcast, I'm still in my 20s. I could totally rock this now. Like, I could do this. It's been so long. So long story short, I did decide to sign up under her. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're not sidelines anymore. Now you're her downline. See, I know the
exactly.
lingo.
You know the verbiage. Yes. But it's like nobody knows yet, but people on the podcast can know. I told her I wanted to, like, announce it in my own time, in my own way, to my people who, like, knew I did it before. My voice is cracking. That was weird. And then I'm gonna do it totally different. Like, it's just, I'm a whole different person. It was almost 20 years ago I did it. It was a long time ago. And so I was like, the other thing is it cannot take away from my widow ministry. Like, I want to be able to still do everything. And so it's not going to. I think it will only add to it. So long story short, that's where I'm at. So I may talk about it from time to time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think what she's getting at is the two are about to merge. So get your wallet out and buy some products. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not what I'm saying. But if you believe in a good product, all the verbiage. I don't have to tell you.
Yeah.
Yes. So I may put a link in the description.
So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, this episode has been sponsored by
Arbonne.
Whatever.
Yes. Do you know Arbonne?
So,
have you ever
no, I don't. So, but I am interested. So Tina's gotten me, her and I are both into skincare. We do all this stuff together. It's fun. We just have a good time, like, doing it together,
I love it.
We've done, like, masks together, and
so fun.
all the creams or whatever. And I do see a huge difference. My eyes used to be way more puffy underneath. Let me stretch them out. No, but no, I used to have, they're still there, but, like, I used to have these really deep, like, dark bags under my eyes, and they've gotten a lot better. But anyway, she got me into it. It's just a fun hobby we do together. I got her into perfumes, and I'm into cologne. I got her into perfumes. I've seriously probably spent, like, $3,000 or $4,000 over 2
Oh my
years
gosh.
buying her perfumes. I'm just
So
throwing a
cute.
number out there. I don't know,
Yeah.
but like she's all. I feel so bougie now. I'm just like, what do I want to wear? Do I want to wear my Joe Malone, my Prada, my whatever? Anyways,
Nice.
so it's fun. So she kind of nerded out on that with me. So
Mhm.
I'm like nerding out on the skincare with her.
Yeah, well, I'll
But
send you guys the
so
website.
I wanted to ask you, like, so
Yeah.
I want send us a link so we can
Yeah.
check out
I
the
totally will.
products.
And I'll put it on here in case any podcast listeners want to check it out. And if you go to my website and enter the code ARBON10, you get 10% off. But if you
That was such a sponsored ad.
I
Oh my
know.
gosh. Enter the code. Widow too soon on skincare.
No, you know what? It's our thing. We can talk about whatever we want.
Okay, but I'm
Okay.
going to say this publicly right now.
Okay.
I do not want to be in network marketing.
No, I know that. I know you don't.
I'm just kidding. You know how it is. I'm just
No,
like how
I
like
totally.
they're like, "Oh, well, yeah, you can buy the products or
Or
you can
you can
become a
build a
rep."
business. Yeah. No. And I'm totally doing this like 100%. Like, I just want to do it because I feel like I love the products and I feel like there are people that this can help them make money. Like, that's my,
Yeah.
they say find your
and
why.
if you like if there's good product, yes, find
Yeah.
your why. If there's good product and if your why is strong enough, you'll find the desire.
You know all this.
So yeah, but if you believe in the product, that
No,
makes
I
a
do.
whole
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Because the
Yeah.
one I was in was it was
What
called
is-
2x2. It was called 2x2.net. It was
Oh.
pretty big in California. But it was shoot, what did the company, I forgot what the company was they had before that. But basically these guys got shut down and then they went and started this other company. But the reason why it was so we were trying to sell when DSL was out. Like, do you remember DSL internet
Oh, yeah.
and the cable and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, during that time, we were trying to get people to sign up for dial-up internet.
Oh my gosh.
Like
That's a
people were
hard
really
sell.
going to be, yeah. So I did not believe in the product. What I believed in was that I was going to be a millionaire. Like,
Yes.
so that was my motivation. But so you have to if it was like, let's say, so my hobby is collecting fragrances and colognes, and I
Mhm.
really love it. I'm all into it, right? So if I was working for a company doing that and it was network
Yeah.
marketing, I could totally do that. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Because I believe in the product. So
Exactly.
10% off. That was pretty good. Seriously, that
Just
sounded like a
sticking it-
total ad.
But if you want more, anyway, I'm not going to go more into that. But
Yeah.
you can always ask me if you want to know more. But I promise you, this is not going to be like all about this every podcast. But I am just putting it out there. So
It's okay. A lot of
That's-
people like skincare products.
I know,
They're good
and
products.
it's green. It's all botanically based. There's no fillers, all the stuff. It's good
Okay, I
stuff.
seriously
And
want the website.
then, okay. Do you want to write now?
Yeah. Like, go ahead and just say it. And I'll write it down. Not like you're advertising to everybody
Okay.
listening or anything.
Yeah, you're asking. I'm telling
I'm
you why
asking. What's
Let
the
me look
website
at-
and what's that 10% code again?
Okay, the website, I have to remember my website exactly, so it's tied to me.
Okay.
Oh, because I had to sign up in Bader, blah, 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 so it's still Bader. But that's easier for people to spell than Eversole, so I'm keeping it. It's
Okay.
michellebader.arbon.com, I believe. Try that.
Peter. Arbon, ARBON.
RBNE. ARBONNE.com.
Wait, what? ROB. Say it again.
No, ARBONNE.
ARB. ONNE.com.
Tell me if that
Okay.
works, if I got it right. This is how new I am. I'm like,
I
I
will.
don't even know.
And what's the
if
10% off code?
Arbon
Arbon
10. But let me tell you, there's a way better way to do it. $29, you become a preferred client and get 20% off. Okay? You're going to want to do that instead. And you get a free gift. Like, it's the way to
You
go.
know what? That will pay for itself in no time.
I love that you know all of this verbiage. Yes, it will pay for itself right away. Anyways, that's my little spiel. But I'm excited. Like, and it was definitely like a prayerful thing. Like, I didn't just jump into this, and I wanted Joel's support. Let me tell you how awesome he is. So he's like, I'll
Yes.
support you any way you can. So I have a huge database of people who used to buy from me. I have, like, I think 350 total between my phone
Wow.
and all my emails. he took all of them and somehow did this merge together, merged them and made columns and did all this stuff. And then, because I was going to send an email out, he's like, oh, we'll make it more personal. He knows how to do this mail merge thing. So it'll be like their name with my message. Like I'm going to put a picture so they remember me, hopefully. And like, here's, I'm doing this again, blah, blah, blah. But he put it all together for me so that I can send
That's
an email
amazing.
out. Yeah, he spent hours on it. Like, he's just like, I just want to support you however I can. So I know
That's so cool.
That's going to help me be successful as well. I mean, Luke was definitely part of Arbonne and like we strategized and talked about things, but because of his sickness and stuff, wasn't able to physically like help me with a lot of stuff. And so this is,
of course.
like, I think it's going to feel more like a partnership doing this together.
That's awesome.
So,
Joel, you are a legend among men.
I know.
You're
right?
a role model. Like, yeah, I just think that's so awesome. He's such a great guy.
I know he is.
I mean,
okay.
you're such a great guy, Joel.
Hopefully he's listening.
Goal.
Okay.
Well,
now...
if he's not listening, then he's gonna miss out.
I know. So he usually listens. Okay, let's go to you. After I've talked for 43 minutes.
Okay, so I got 6 minutes. All right, ready? No,
Wait, we can take as long as we want. This is our podcast.
I'm just kidding. So okay, I do not have as many cool things to report. I did not go traveling.
It's all
but
cool.
I do have some stuff that's cool.
Can't wait to hear.
So I'm trying to go way back. I'm trying to remember since the last time we recorded. So Tina was super stoked about her episode.
Yeah.
She was happy to have done it, and she felt proud of herself, and I'm really proud of her too.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great episode. Both of them were really good episodes. So after she came for a visit, shortly after that episode, and it was really sweet. So, I go to work and still do all my stuff, but like something that I've really missed out on since, it's like now I'm like working like, like a real job, like not doing real estate anymore. I'm like, stuck in the building from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of things at my kids' school that I just can't go to everything, but I could do that when I had real estate. So I've been missing that a lot. So when Tina was here, it was really sweet. Luke had a dress up like a book character.
Oh, I love that.
And so, and you have to bring the book, and then the school does a little parade. They march around the hallways of the school, and so Tina went there and watched Lukey come marching by with his Mario costume on, and he had his Mario book. And actually, I can't remember if he optioned to do the costume or just the Mario T-shirt. He was kind of back and forth. I can't remember which one he did. I think he did the shirt, maybe the hat too. I don't remember. Anyways, but I was super happy for him, and he like lit up when he saw her, and that's like super sweet to me.
Yes.
And then I think it was the next day, she went and visited Alexis at school. They have this thing. I don't think this was a thing in California, but here you can go you can go hang out with your kids on their lunch.
Yeah.
You can go spend their lunch break with them or whatever. And so Tina went and hung out with Alexis for her lunch break. Oh, and Alexis brought all of her friends over. And they all sat at the table, and they were like, "You're Tina," and then she got to meet Alexis's teacher, and it was really, really sweet, and that meant a lot to me that she, not only for the kids but to me, that she did that was like really sweet. So I loved that. Let's see, hold on, let me go down my list that I don't have. I started therapy.
Oh, good.
Which has been cool. I've been to 2 sessions so far.
Good.
And trying to work on this brain of mine, and work on some stuff that I have in my head. And so that's been cool. And my stuff is so boring compared to yours.
Boring. Don't compare.
I've been watching a lot of Smallville, which is a cool show.
I've seen that.
I guess I'm way late to the game on that one because it's all new to me.
Long time ago.
Gosh, just been seriously, like, I just work a lot. I know there's other stuff, but it's like so hard to think of stuff. I went to a meeting for my daughter's school with her teacher, and she's doing really great. Gosh, I mean, I fixed some cars. It's so funny. Like, you were like such a, you remind me of,
what are you gonna say? Who?
Carmen Sandiego.
Where in the world
Or
is Carmen?
yeah, you're
Where's
just like
Waldo?
always
Where's Carmen?
somewhere new. You guys are always like on these cool adventures. I love it. It's awesome.
Oh, but
I
my
look
life,
forward to the day that my life is more like
right?
that again, where I can like, like the whole being married thing is like
Yes,
really, really um, missing from my
yeah,
life.
right,
Like there's just such a wholeness and completeness. If you're that kind of person, like I am,
right.
I really like thrive in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and so I really miss that. But I'm so happy on many fronts to see you guys because for one, I've seen your journey, and it is
Mm-hmm.
super cool to see like what God has done and just how
Yeah,
happy you are and just what a great guy Joel is. Like he is
yeah,
just authentically awesome. Like he's just one of those guys that
yeah.
I just like him. Like it's
Right?
just a very natural, it's very easy to like him.
Yeah.
He's
Oh yeah.
just kind soul. And
He
so
is.
and to see you guys traveling and all this stuff, but the other thing that makes me really happy is seeing the things that you guys do like
Mm-hmm.
reminds me of like marriage. I don't know how to like
Mm.
explain exactly what
Mm-hmm.
I'm just all the like everything like going to church together, going out to eat together, like just life together is so
Yeah.
cool. That you told one time that he went to pick up the kid
Yeah.
from
Uh-huh.
school. I don't remember which one
Yes.
of your kids it was, but
Yeah.
and just all that stuff is like super cool. So there's many levels of like happiness that
Mm-hmm.
it brings me to see, and so I look forward to that again
Mm-hmm.
someday in my
Yeah.
future. um
It is amazing.
but yeah, it's super super cool. It's got to feel like um just such an extra blessing
Yes.
to know what you lost
Mm-hmm.
and yet know what you went through to
Yeah.
get to this place, and you're there
Yeah.
now.
Yes. I'm
you're
on
you're
the other
happily
side of it.
remarried, and that's super
Yes.
cool.
And it's
It's
like
like,
I
I
didn't,
did it.
I felt like God promised me he'd redeem, restore everything I lost. And it wasn't just losing Luke. I lost the Mary. I mean, what I'm trying to say is we weren't able to go and do things because he was sick so much. And so we traveled a little bit, but not like this. And if we did, it was like he had to rest a lot. There wasn't being
Right.
able to go. Actually, when we earned a trip through Arbonne to Cancun, and in Mexico, it's all marble floors everywhere, and he slipped and landed on the end of his leg that was cut off, and the bone actually like went through the end. It was
Oh
horrible.
gosh.
And he could not leave the room the rest of the time. So I just would bring him food and he'd be in the room the whole time. It was horrible. And then I'd take him back in a wheelchair. And I think he got checked out when we got home. But it was just like he couldn't do all the things he wanted to do. And so I never had a partner. Like, so just even spending like a week with our friends, with having like, oh, this is what couple relationships are like. Like, I didn't even
That's super
know,
cool.
and
Yeah,
just
that's
all the
awesome.
things I'm doing now, I lived a whole life without them. Even him like throwing me a birthday party, like just all this stuff, and having a healthy husband. And, none of this was Luke's fault, but it's the way it was. And so I
Right.
think I appreciate it even more because I have this husband who's healthy and doing all these things. And um, it's just
Yeah, that's
been
just awesome.
amazing. And then also it's the stage of life we're in, almost empty nesters. So our kids,
Hmm.
we don't, we can leave them because Haley drives them to school. And also I feel good about because my family lives all around us, like a mile and like everywhere. My parents, everybody. So if there was an emergency, they're here. But it's easy to leave because Haley drives now and can take them to school and do all these things. And so we're just in a different season, like where we can do those things. But yet I'm also in the season of I want to hold on to the last with my kids because we only stayed like 5 nights. It would have been great to stay longer, but I'm like, I just can't. Like, I want to be with my kids. Like, Haley's about to
Yeah,
graduate. I won't have this very much longer. Like, uh, yeah. So, anyways, this is not supposed to be my time.
that's
I'll let you
okay.
talk.
We're chatting. So, and then I was saving though I was trying to think
Okay.
of like stuff so my life doesn't seem super dull and boring, but that's just the reality of it. My life is pretty dull and boring. So that's okay. But the one thing that I was really excited to talk about is Tina's birthday. She
Mm,
had a birthday.
that's right.
And that was a lot of fun. You know, I made sure I did a lot of really nice things for her. gift wise, one of the things I got her was a Oculus VR headset
Oh my
because I
gosh,
have
that's
one.
awesome. So you can play together?
Yes. So because, we have a long distance relationship.
Yes, that's so
And I was
cute.
like, what about instead of being on the phone all the time, if we get in a virtual reality space together and
Oh
we
my
play golf
gosh.
and we play bowling together
I
and
love
tennis or
it.
whatever. So we haven't actually had a chance to play yet.
Yeah, so
Um,
cool.
I mean, just kind of when we were messing around, but so like I don't know, it was so that was cool. She was super excited about that,
Oh,
and
I love
it
it.
was neat that she got to play with her kids
Oh,
on it, and they
fun.
think it's super cool.
Right.
So
That's a
I mean
great
they've
present.
played it before, but
Yeah.
and then her daughter actually sent me a text and said, "Oh my gosh, this is so funny, thank you," and sent me a picture of her mom of Tina, playing
Yeah.
playing a game or whatever. And then so one of the nights I took her out to her favorite, which is Mexican
Mhm.
food, and I kind of did a no-no, but
What's that?
when she took Alexis to the restroom, I asked our waiter, I was like, "Hey, do you do anything for people's birthdays?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's her birthday." He's all, "Your wife?" And I'm all, "Yeah." Like I
Just
just
go
was
with
like,
it. Yeah.
"Yeah." And he's all, "Oh yeah, yeah." And I'm all, "What do you like sing or something?" He's all, "Oh yeah, I'll sing for her." And he was all like excited about it, and I'm all, "Well, she gets pretty embarrassed, so." And he's all, "Don't worry, I'll take care of it." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I thought he meant like, "Don't worry, I won't embarrass
Yeah.
her. I'll just bring her some dessert and make her feel special." No, he rolls up with basically an orchestra behind him, like, and then they put a sombrero on her,
Oh
and he
my
was trying to
gosh.
like he like dipped the spoon in her whipped cream, the dessert they brought, and he was trying to like put it on her nose. I guess that's the thing. And she's like backing off, like dodging it with this big old sombrero on her head. So that was really fun. And I was like, "I'm sorry, I didn't know he was gonna," but she's like, it's fine. So that was cool. But
Fun.
and then we went to Whole Foods Market.
Mhm.
Actually, that was the day before, and I got some really thick, like ribeye steaks, and I
Nice.
made her like a really, really nice dinner for her birthday also. So we just celebrated, and it was
Yeah.
awesome. So she, you only turned 29 6 times, so
Yes.
you know. We had to celebrate her turning 29. So that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed celebrating her. Uh,
So fun.
yeah, so that was cool. And then, I feel like really if I was smart like you and wrote stuff down, I could think of a list of things. I do want to say something. This is
Uh-huh.
not anything that happened to me, but something that happened to work yesterday, and it's just kind of like crazy.
Okay. Ready.
So this guy I work with, he was pulling out a car and he realized he forgot something. So he pulled the car back in, opens up the door, gets out, um, puts the rack on, the thing that lifts up the car. He puts
Yeah.
the rack underneath the car on the other side because he only needed to lift up the side. Well, he forgot that he left the driver door open.
Oh no.
So as the vehicle lifted, it just crunched the door. Like,
Oh.
I mean, the vehicle's like jacked, like it's so jacked. And so, anyways, I just thought that was like kind of crazy because I just hear this crunch, and I look over and this door is like hanging off. I was like,
Oh my
"Oh my
gosh.
gosh!" That was
That's
just one of those
awful.
like I see how that could happen. You just kind of have
Mhm.
this brain fart. And I could totally see how that could happen. And it was just one of those moments where I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so glad that wasn't me."
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah, I don't have, I'm sure I'm forgetting things.
Oh,
I
that's all right.
am looking into, I do have 2 more things.
Okay,
Okay.
good.
So when I tried to do real estate I worked my butt
Yeah.
off to get my license, my
Mhm.
GED, all this stuff,
Yep.
did not succeed at it. But I sustained myself without a job for like 8 months,
Yeah.
9 months, I think.
Mhm.
So in that, I accrued some debt, and I did some balance
Yeah.
transfers and stuff like that. I've been smart about the way I've done it. I knew what I was doing, but I'm proud to say that after like 6 months of hardcore determination, I have paid all of that debt off.
Nice.
So that's super
Congratulations.
exciting.
That's
Thank you. I've been
awesome.
proud of
That's
that. That's
huge.
something that,
Yeah.
it might be a little too personal. I don't know, but whatever. I'm
Eh,
pretty open on here.
I
Everybody
know.
gets into some kind of debt at some point.
Yes.
It's not like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm
That's
not talking
awesome.
specific numbers or anything. And then the
Mhm.
other thing is that I've had the goal for 6 months that once I pay this debt off, I'm going to book a Disney cruise.
Oh,
And so I'm
nice.
just kind of getting to the point where I'm starting to look and plan and think about
Yeah.
when it could work and stuff like that. Because cruises are amazing and Disney does it really, really well. I
Mm-hmm.
know there's a lot of people boycotting Disney out there, but
Mm-hmm.
for the kids, like Disney Cruise Line's the best.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
That'll be
that's
so
I
fun.
had to think I'm doing something cool too. Oh,
That
we're
is
going
cool.
to Puerto Rico next week, and then we're going
You
to
are.
Colombia, and then we're going. No, no, I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm just going to work.
That's all right. Life doesn't always have
S
to be exciting. I just happen to be in a little bit of a stage of that right now, but I don't have
yeah.
any more trips planned. Well, I may go to Vegas in June with my new company because they have a conference. You're supposed to go,
Oh, there you go.
all the
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, I don't have anything big planned because it's the end of the year, school year, and Haley's gonna graduate. So I want to spend as much time with her and like going to all her school stuff and just taking that in. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. I am going to Disneyland June 4th with her senior class. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah, so
I
this is
love
this is
Disneyland.
yes, this is a crazy
I live
weird
5 minutes
trip.
away.
Oh, it's so nice. So it's the weirdest trip. We leave at 6 a.m. and then we go to Disneyland all day, and then we go to like IHOP or something that's open all night, and then catch a 6 a.m. flight home. There's no hotel, there's no
Wow.
anything, yeah, to save on costs and everything. So it's a very fast trip. At first, I was like, Haley,
Y'all better be sleeping on that plane.
I know. I was like, Haley, I don't do good with sleep. I'm not going to go. And she's like, sure. And then I was talking to another mom, and then I'm like, wait, I was on her first field trip. I need to be on her last one. So I'm going.
Yeah, that's
It'll be
cool.
worth it.
It'll
Yeah,
be totally worth it.
I'm really excited about that. So I forgot I have that coming up in a couple months.
Get a
And
funnel cake.
yeah, those are good. I like
Hmm
those. And then the Dole Whip
Oh
ice
yeah,
cream.
that's like everybody knows about
Yes,
those.
that's
Yeah,
so good. But yeah, that's gonna be really fun. And oh, she was like, "Well, I hope you're not hanging out with me the whole time." And I was like, "I'm coming. You want like I'm coming all the way there and you're not gonna hang out with me?" She's like, "Well, not the whole time." I'm like, "Well, there's another mom I'm gonna hang out with, so don't worry."
you're all right. I guess I'll just go on Pirates of the Caribbean by myself or
Or it's a
whatever.
small world over and
Yes. I
over.
love the smell of It's a Small World. I don't know what it is. I love the
The
smell.
water, maybe.
It, well, maybe, but it doesn't like, well, this is gonna sound weird. I was gonna say it doesn't smell like water.
So
There's just a
I
smell in there. I don't know what it is, but I
yeah.
just really like the smell.
So I had all these memories popping up that 2 years ago I was with Joel at this time in March at Disney World.
Oh,
And
nice.
he did not like It's a Small World. He had never been to Disneyland, Disney, anything. And that was his first experience, and he was like, I don't like this. This is dumb. I like it. I
Yeah,
think it's so cute.
I think it's like if you I grew up, you know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Southern California local. I went to Disneyland a lot.
Yeah.
So it's that probably has a lot to do with it. I
Yeah,
don't
because
know.
he'd never
Maybe if I
been
went
to
on it
it.
as an adult, I'd be
You'd
like,
be like,
okay, this is like a
what?
little kid ride, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
It
But
is.
I
It is a
love
little
it.
kid ride.
It's
I
so
did
cute.
I did want to I
Get
had a
into our
memory.
episode. Just kidding. Let's get into our episode.
Surprise, folks. This was
Surprise!
the episode.
This is the episode. If you're waiting for like what's the topic, it's chatting with Mark and Michelle.
Catching up.
Yes, okay,
It's
I'm sorry, I
been
didn't mean to interrupt.
forever. No,
It's
it's
been
okay. I got this
forever.
memory today
Mm.
that I was feeling some stuff this morning, and so this
Yeah.
is interesting. This memory spoke to my heart that I wrote from 4 years ago.
Wow.
And I wanted to share
Let's
this
hear
with
it.
people because a lot of people will relate to these feelings. But anyways, I just think it's good advice for all of us about the seasons of life that we're in. So this was from March 23rd, 2020.
Wow.
So right at the start of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was going cray-cray, but it has nothing to do with COVID. But this is when I shared with the world that Lacey had
Oh.
cancer.
Oh, they didn't know before this. Okay.
Well, people close to us knew,
Right,
but
but it
not my
wasn't on
friends
Facebook.
list.
Okay.
So it's a little long, not too bad.
That's okay.
Uh,
We got time.
I said, I want to share something. A lot of you know this, but most of you don't. My wife was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer in July. It came out of nowhere and completely flipped our world upside down.
Mm-hmm.
It has devastated our lives in almost every way imaginable. I am sharing this with you because I want to give you all the chance to learn something very valuable. Every time you look at your spouse, your children, or any family members, cherish that they are healthy and don't take it for granted. Don't fight over petty things. Don't hold on to anger. Think carefully about the things you choose to complain about, because I promise you, those things can become irrelevant overnight. Don't be the kind of person, like most of us, who thinks about what you are lacking. Be grateful for what you have been blessed with and focus on that. Every single thing that I used to pray hard about became unnecessary, and I wish those were still my only problems. I am so grateful that my children are still healthy. Please, please take this message to heart and go hug your wife or husband and kids. I haven't wanted to share this news, but I feel like people need to know how fragile life is. By the way, my wife has always been healthy. She always ate healthy, except the pig head, and and exercised. Cancer doesn't care how nice you are or what you look like. My life sucks today, but it could easily be you or your loved one tomorrow. Cherish what you have. Cherish it. May God bless you all and keep you healthy. I know a lot of you know I am a Christian and might wonder how I feel towards God. My God is an awesome God. He is so good to me. He has blessed me far beyond what I ever deserved. My faith will not be shaken. I beg him for mercy every single day, but my God is bigger than cancer, and my God is not of this world. My hope is not in this world. It is in Jesus Christ, my Redeemer, my Savior. I will praise his name for all of eternity. He knows what he is doing, and in time I will understand too. I lean not on my own understanding. His ways are above my ways, and his thoughts are above my thoughts. Our God is an awesome God. He inspires awe so you can correctly use the word awesome. I praise his name now and forever. Jesus is alive. Man, when I read that today,
It's
not only
powerful.
did it take me back to what I was feeling when I wrote that, that post is where I get the thing from that I've said on here many times. People are watching you. That post made me think about that. And
So good.
especially the unbelievers, that they're watching you.
Yeah.
And, but, you know, the most powerful takeaway from that for me is to just cherish what we do have and to not sit there and focus on the things we don't. And all of us listening have lost a tremendous amount, but we all still have the breath in our lungs. A lot of us still have the health of our children, many new relationships. There are all kinds of things that if we choose to see the beauty, it doesn't mean you can't feel the pain or anything like that, but we all want to, have a positive mindset. We all want to be the salt of the earth. And so when you focus on what you do have and try to not live in the what I don't have, what I'm missing, it will fill your heart with gratitude for what you do have, and you will live a life of gratitude. And if you feel gratitude in your heart, you will express attitude through your actions. And so anyways, I just felt like I wanted to share that. I was going to share it on our Wait Up Too Soon page. But I remembered we were going to do this episode. I was like, I'm just going to read it.
Yeah.
Boom.
Done.
So
Mic
anyways,
drop. That's so
just
good.
wanted to share that.
That's so good.
We're all cut up.
I think so. Well, it was a great topic today.
Yes, it
lives.
was. Yes.
All the random stuff. But you know what? As you guys heard at the beginning of the episode, because I'm going to put it on here, like Angela shared, she said the banter is the best part of the podcast and to not stop. And Rob said it too. So we did a whole episode. You're welcome.
Just for y'all.
Just for you guys. Like if this was our first episode, people would be like, who are you? Who cares about these things? But hopefully...
Oh, and we got a shout out. That was cool. Sorry.
Oh, yeah,
I didn't mean to
was.
interrupt you, but hopefully what?
I forgot because you interrupted.
I'm sorry. I know.
Okay.
That was terrible. I just
No, it's
remembered that
totally
and got all
fine.
excited.
No, but hopefully, I don't even know what I was saying. I lost it. What were we talking
know.
about? Oh, hopefully people like
Yeah.
listening to us talk because, like, I have a podcast person. Like, I listen to her and it's just her talking about her life. Like, I think it's interesting because now people know us. But in the beginning, so if you're a brand new listener, you might want to go back and listen to other ones.
You did a good job telling them at the end.
True. They're probably
Thank you
not
for
here.
listening to this whole thing, but don't do it.
I didn't think about that. That's so funny. Anyways, if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. And just a little teaser for next time, we have Christine or Christina. I think it's Christine. She is the author of The Positive Widow, which I read the whole book on the trip. It's really good. So she's going to be talking about that
Nice.
next week. She has like actual like practical tips that you can take away. She has an acronym and like really good stuff. So I found her on TikTok and we connected, and I'm super excited. She applied to be a guest, and she's going to be a guest next week. So anyways,
That's
I think
awesome.
that's it. Do you want to pray us out?
I will pray us out.
Okay.
But I would just like to say one more time that address is michellebader@arbonne.com.
No, it's not it. It's michellebader.arbonne.com, I think.
Sorry, that's what I wrote down. I just forgot to put the dot.
Oh,
Or
okay.
say the dot.
Wait, let me make
Whatever.
sure. There it is.
Arbonne 10 for 10%
Mich-
off.
That's so funny.
That's
But become
so
a preferred
great.
client because you're going to get more off,
Oh yeah, 20% off for $29 for the
20%.
Lolo one-time price.
Listen, $29. You get 20% off. You might get, I think you get a free gift somehow. I don't know. Don't quote me, but it's the way to do it. So,
Yes,
anyway-
that's the way.
anyways.
So,
thanks for
anyways,
listening.
now I will pray
Now
because
you'll pray.
we gotta thank our sponsors.
Yes.
Lord, thank you so much for this ministry that you have
Mhm.
provided for us, and that somehow this is bringing light to the world and just blessing people's lives somehow.
Mhm.
And we are so thankful for that. I pray, Lord, that you would, if it's your will, that you would continue to grow this podcast and continue to spread this around the world to all the hurting hearts that need to be reminded that you are still here, no matter how dark and difficult these times can be. And we just thank you, Lord. We thank you for the faithful listeners we have, and just that you've blessed us with the words to help people somehow. And it's in your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Well, if you like this podcast, give it a little bing, bing, 5 stars. Apple Podcasts. Take a minute to like write a little review. We appreciate those. Or the link below, you can go to SpeakPipe and leave a little voice message like you heard on this episode. We appreciate those. I also
Do it.
wanted to say thank you. We've had some generous donations. I haven't even told you this yet. To Widow Goals in the last
That's
couple of
great.
days. Like one widow gave back a lot. And then I believe it was I did a birthday fundraiser. We got a couple $100 there. And then there's somebody who's been giving every month. So we're getting a little bit of funding again,
Wow,
which
that's great.
yes. So we totally appreciate that. So thank you. You guys know who you are, who gave. And if you feel like giving, there's a link below. We really do appreciate. You know what the crazy thing is? Like, I thought it was going to be outside sources, but actually everyone who's donated back is a widow. I think it's because
Wow.
they've been blessed by our ministry in some
Wow.
way. And so
That's
they give
awesome.
back. And so that's been really cool to see how that's been
Yeah,
working.
thank
So
you, listeners. That's
thank
really
you,
generous.
listeners. And thanks for letting us like ramble today. Really appreciate it. It was kind of fun.
This was a totally Rob episode.
Totally Rob episode.
We wanted
Anyways,
to see how long we could do it. 70 minutes, Rob.
Yeah, 70. We can try to beat that next time.
Everyone's
and-
like,
No,
unsubscribe.
yeah, I know. So we'll be back to some regular widow content next week, but today
Yes.
you got like what's going on in our lives. So, all right. Well, thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
God bless.
Bye.